Hi Surya, how are you? You need to unmute, I think.
Surya, you have just marked attendance and gone. We had been doing this since time immemorial. It's very interesting. Uh, I served in IIM Lucknow, and before that, I served in Bank of Baroda, and before that, I served in BHEL, and for 5 years, I was in IMK, and then returned and retired in 2011 June. So on 30th June, the last day of this series of meetings, is completion of 10 years of my retirement.
Oh,
I'm celebrating my retirement, and this also turns out to be my completion of 75 years in June. So
oh,
both these things coincide. So I thought, what best way to do that except meeting all the people whom I had been trying to teach. Whether I could impart learning or not, I don't know.
sir, many congratulations, I would say, because you have had a long and very useful, very impactful academic career. And I went through those, cases.
Oh,
Um,
which cases?
I mean, sorry, the mini cases that you had
Many,
included.
many, many cases. I mean, I call them cases.
Okay, okay. Yeah, yeah. So I went through the, sorry, I went through the ISB series,
Oh,
which is,
oh, that is what I was thinking of discussing today. And I asked my friend Tini Philip
uh,
of, he lives in Calicut. So I told him, if you can join today, it will be really good because then we can have real flair of what is Calicut and all that I am describing in case A, B, and C,
hmm.
whether it is true or not. And if true, then going from here, from Lucknow, Lucknow did not face the problem of I am Calcutta or I am Calicut. It was a different country in many ways. I'll say different, I'll not say good or bad. It was just different.
Right,
So,
sir.
what you expect to the people to do in Lucknow, they won't do. And what you don't expect, they will do. And it's in no way any comment. Surya, can you it's very, since you have read,
Ah, there he is.
Nanduri, where are you located these days?
Nanduri and I seem to be looking at
I'm
the
in
same.
Hyderabad, sir.
You are in Hyderabad. And therefore, yesterday we had
Yes, sir.
one person by name Kameshwar Rao. And he was in the fifth
Mm,
batch. And Nanduri,
okay.
he
And where
happens
is
to
this?
be youngest partner of Price Waterhouse in India.
Oh,
He
yeah, yeah, I know him, sir. I know. Yeah,
ah,
I was just about to ask whether the same Kameshwar.
yes, same.
In fact, he has the same surname. I share the
Very good.
family. Yeah, I know.
Really, really very good.
But right now,
Great to see you, sir. Great to see you in action.
I tell you, there are no better teachers than your own students. And I was just looking forward to meeting Babu Raj Pillai, a fifth batch, who tried to log in for 2 hours and could not get in the meeting. I said, it's a comment on me, not on you. Because the way I have designed, I didn't know that Babu Raj will not be able to log in because there were some cases which were password protected.
Ah,
And the password was given in the Excel sheet, that cell,
Okay.
as inserted
That's
comments.
noted.
Now, Babu Raj, I thought he will know that if you take PDF file and try to locate inserted comments, you can't access. But instead of PDF, you delete PDF and type XLSX. Then you will get XLS file. And there you can get the password. So what's the point in giving password if it is open to all? So realizing this, the cases that many cases are without password, the risk is that somebody in IMK may see these cases and say, what nonsense you have been talking about us. But Samana, if you have seen case A,
right, sir.
the first day you enter the institute and promotion दो धरना देंगे promotion दो धरना देंगे हम आपको ऑफिस से घर नहीं जाने देंगे. I mean, you all start getting that and you are perplexed because you have never faced that situation. And I am in a place where I don't know the language.
Right.
So all the people talk among themselves in their mother tongue, Malayali, which I cannot follow. And if they drag me to court, I have to file my affidavit in Malayali, which I don't know. So, how will you file your affidavit in the court if you don't know the language? And you file the affidavit authorizing your senior officers to go and respond, and this fellow files a affidavit which says, I agree to what the opponent is saying. I because it's a blank stamp paper on which I sign and give it to him and say, write in Malayali whatever the lawyer says there. And along with lawyer, the opponent was also there. Was nothing but our own staff, and the fellow who was filing was also my own staff. So both the petitioner and the opponent were respondents were same parties. Some in official capacity, some in unofficial capacity. And you know what they were demanding was, they were demanding give us pension. And government of India had taken a policy decision not to give pension after 1/4/2004. 1/1/2004. These people were saying we had joined in 96, please allow us pension. And my earlier director had written in the advertisement, we follow Government of India rules as other IAMs follow. Now, other IAMs were following, no doubt about it. They had got their EFC approved. When you get your EFC approved, your institute becomes regular institute. Otherwise, it's ad hoc institute. So whatever money you get from the government is ad hoc to be regularized. So if the EFC is not approved, the employees cannot be regularized. And without employees being regularized, how can you offer them pension?
True. True, sir.
So they filed a petition. The director had said that at the time of joining that we follow Government of India rules and you'll get all the things like terminal benefits like pension. And I thought maybe it is true. I was novice. So I authorized people to file like that. And they said, we agree. And the interesting part was there is always a standing council of the government on behalf of the central institution. That fellow absconds. So judge was going to pass order, but then MHRD came to learn and immediately contacted me. What the hell you are saying? How can you say we are agreeing when ministry has taken decision not to do so? I said, what? Who said I have agreed? He said, you have filed a affidavit that you are agreeing. I said, my God. Do you know, Nanduri, have you come across this situation that you are petitioner, no, respondent, and your assistant, your entire staff is petitioner, and you have to get response affidavit filed through them in their language. And
That's the time we should outsource, sir.
that you have to sign a blank check, stamp paper signing without anything written on that, to be filed in the court. You know, we face this kind of situation also.
Yeah.
And another thing, I don't know, wherever I go, and I try to increase intake. I increased intake in IIM Lucknow in 1989. As a result of that, I was called, there was a court case filed against me as PGP chairman along with director. If he had not increased intake, those people would not have got admission in IIM Lucknow. A girl with C4Fs and C4Ds was asked to go, and she filed a petition. Institute doesn't have rules to ask me to go away, because in our brochure we have written the purpose of institute evaluation system is to help a student improve. We were very philosophical in our first, second, third, fourth batch. Human resource man, Professor Dayal was human resource man. So the brochure was, and the rules were formulated likewise. The evaluation system of IIM Lucknow aims to help students improve. So she pleaded in the court, where is the question of being terminated from the program? I can keep on lying lifelong.
Yes, ad infinitum improvement.
Then, by chance, we were giving midterm exam as a feedback how you are understanding the subject. If there is something deficiency, we used to give people that warning that you people, you have to improve. Otherwise, if your performance is not improving, you may be asked to go. And then in the rules, it was also, if your performance is not satisfactory, the institute may require you to go. Okay. The institute may ask you to withdraw from the program. So the student said, you may ask me to withdraw from the program, but for me to decide to withdraw,
It's left to them.
I don't know why only I have to handle these things, against which I caution my faculty colleagues repeatedly. Please be clear about your rules, regulations. And as I landed up in Calicut, same thing repeated. We increased intake from 120 to 180, and we had the good habit that except in second batch of IMK, all the years from first year, we had been admitting full quota of SC and ST. And you can check with any other IM whether for 15 years they had between 1995 and 2005 they had entered full quota of SC/ST. None. That is why a lot of court cases also. And that boy, having failed, he filed a petition, and in summer, what you call vacation bench, he filed a writ petition and solicited urgent hearing, and the copy of his petition was received by the government council on behalf of IMK but not informed. So there was ex parte judgment there also. And they said, sir, you are going to get a summon from the court. I said, what for? He said, just wait, you'll get it. I mean, the boy had audacity to forewarn me that I am going to get a summon to be present in the court for personal hearing. And then there, by chance, a good advocate in Cochin High Court, he was there who was taking up IM case earlier. He gave me a ring. Sir, what is going on? Do you know there is a contempt case against you? And honorable judge is going to pass sentence that you have abused honorable court. So what this fellow had done, he had taken mobile camera with recording, and at certain places he suppressed voice. So it was not audible. And in the petition, he left those dot that is not audible and make a false CD saying that Professor Krishna Kumar has abused me. And honorable judge was so upset. IMK has a lot to explain to us. Very angry. You have abused the honorable judge? And I don't even know. Then he said, sir, what is this case? Then I explained, there's nothing like that. It was Saturday, office was closed, I was not even there. Yes, I was in the class in MDP. I came for a while, but he said, you have to allow me to join. I said, today is Saturday, today I can't allow you to join or anything. And said, there's a court order, can you refuse that? I said, have patience, I have my class, I am going, and then we'll discuss. And this fellow suppressed that part and said he did not accept the court order and contempt of court should be issued against him, and a summon was going to be issued. When the honorable judge came to know, he was so furious with the student. He asked our counsel, please check with Professor Krishna Kumar what sentence I should award to this boy. He is lying, tarnishing the institute image. Please tell me, what sentence should I award? I said, sir, we don't have the boys here for being put in jail. We call them for getting education and become good managers for the country. If these people start going to jail, then nobody will apply to IMK. Have you ever heard cases of this type? Both the time, very honestly, Samne, we overstretched ourselves. We did not. I remember in 1989-90, I had not slept for more than 3-4 hours a day for the whole year. And this is the reward we get. So that side is a little Prabhakar.
Oh, Prabhakar is here.
Ah,
Thanks to you, we are meeting some of our own batchmates.
After, no, not me. Yeah, virtual meet, and we are seeing. In fact, we haven't seen the faces for a long
you
time.
know, Samana, what happened? First 12 batches, in fact, up to 2001, I had taught all the students one or the other subject. Luckily, business policy was compulsory,
Right.
and therefore I was teaching that. Then MCS and management of change. And therefore, I had great affinity because it's a great dream of a faculty to teach, to interact with the entire batch. And that is why even today, I remember you all, and you may not know how much you disturb me in my sleeps. I keep on dreaming you all. So I said, what is this nonsense all the time coming in the dreams and disturbing? Why can't we meet?
Mhm.
So I didn't know what could be modus operandi, but then I found Zoom meeting. I learned this and I said, now whosoever is not hating me badly, I can have, I can see him, interact with him, and see how the life is going on. Now we had Prabhakar.
Hi, Prabhakar.
Hello, good evening, sir. How are you?
Very good evening, Prabhakar. It's
How are you,
really
sir?
great. Prabhakar, you
Yes, sir.
got to 1994, no?
1994, yes. Soms batch only, same, yes.
And you wrote one case also, I suppose.
Exactly. Krishna Kumar and we wrote this
City Montessori School.
Montessori School. City Montessori School. Yes, sir. Yes. Yes.
And you know how that case was written? That's a very interesting thing.
Yes.
There was one girl by name Hema.
Okay.
Hema was your batchmate.
Hema, I don't remember. No, I don't
Yellow.
remember.
I remember, you don't remember.
No, sir, Hema wasn't our
Krishna
batch.
Kumar, Hema, they
No,
came.
Parvati. Parvati was with us.
Parvati was with you. Acha.
Parvati, Krishna Kumar, and I don't remember one more guy.
I can tell you, your name is in the published book, so you can't get away. So one day, Krishna Kumar and Parvati came, loss of breath, coming to first floor where I was sitting. Sir, I said, what happened? Sir, we have learned one thing. I said, what happened? I said, sir, without hard work, nothing is possible.
That is true. That is
I
true.
said, Krishna Kumar, what is this? How did you learn that? And you are so excited, you are losing your breath. That was Parvati Somyaji.
Correct, Parvati Sumay. Yes, Parvati was it. That's why Parvati was
So,
it.
Krishna Kumar said, sir, have you seen any office opening at 7 o'clock in the evening and working till midnight?
Yeah.
I said, no. But I have seen an office which opens at 7 o'clock and doesn't close till the work is over.
That's true. That's true.
And I said, how it is possible? Then he gave the reference of Jagdish Gandhi and others that every day the school are to be inspected and the report has to reach Jagdish Gandhi's table in the evening. So up to 5 o'clock, the inspectors go to school. City Montessori is a chain of schools, and every day inspectors visit. And they report at 5 o'clock, and 7 o'clock, Jagdish Gandhi's typist comes, and he starts typing those reports for Jagdish Gandhi It may be 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, unless he reads the report and signs, which is to be delivered to the institute before the institute opens. It should be on principal's desk.
Yeah.
I said, so I had an interaction with Jagdish Gandhi also on this. We had first MDP on SM by the people who have supplied data to you, 8 companies. And when I got that report, I went to Jagdish Gandhi for seeking permission for a case, and he was not there. Night 11 o'clock, I get a call. May I speak to Krishna Kumar? As he is speaking. Myself, Jagdish Gandhi. Did you visit our school today? Prabhakar, imagine. I said, yes, I visited. What for? Our boys are thrilled with the experience of sitting Montessori school and they have written a case. I want to verify whether they have correctly understood how the institute is run and transcribed. And I shall be grateful if you can go through it and give your comments. You know, Prabhakar, next day, by afternoon 3 o'clock, I had not only his feedback word by word, but also these thick documents to see whether this is correct or not.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of allegations against this institute that they manipulate scholarship and board ranks and others. It's a pre-street. And then I invited him. Then I invited him in the presentation. So Krishna Kumar was also present in that session. And he asked, Mr. Gandhi, after Jagdish Gandhi, who? So Jagdish Gandhi said, ask your teacher. I can't answer. So I asked, why? You have a son. Your daughter, who is consultant in World Bank. And my son said, no. My daughter said, no chance. And my son says, if I had to take charge of a school, I will open a school but not join this school. You know, is not it, Prabhakar?
Yes.
How many people are such tough taskmasters as owners? And that is why the problem comes in such organization on succession planning. That if you get extraordinary person, and Prabhakar, you might have forgotten, but I have kept that case. The starting sentence is this, as the clock chimed 12 o'clock.
I don't remember. Okay.
I remember because it's filed in director's office in IIM Lucknow. So you can go any day and see that. And if you don't get in director's office, then come to me. I'll show you the original bound volume which was released on Convocation Day. You know, that
Yes,
was
yes,
first
yes.
IML case series. And then it took 20 years to have another one.
Okay.
Why we take this much time? So, Samne, if you have read by any chance, is a small, beautiful A and B case. Okay.
Okay.
Which cases have you read? A and B, one page each?
Sir, I have read all 5.
Oh my God. 5, no? A, B, C, D, E.
A, B, C, D, E.
Good. You did not read I
No, I did not.
and J
No, sir.
and K. A is a lifetime experience. When a person joins, if you people give me, I'll quickly browse through that case. It's a short, 1.5 pages, A and B cases. That when you join as chief executive of an organization, what you may face in a public sector company. I am also a public sector company. Would you mind if I share that?
Not at all, sir.
Okay. Let me see. Welcome to, before anything else, Karan. Before anything else, let me welcome you all. Welcome you all to my dhaba. I opened a dhaba.
Sir,
I wanted to open a dhaba for you when you were here. Because after Sitapur Road up to campus, there was no place where one could eat. And as a student, we feel like eating at night when we are preparing for the class next day. So I could not open the dhaba. So this dhaba was opened on 14th of December 2020. And whatever is mentioned there, if you visit any Sunday, 11 to 1, some or the other dish will be available. If you inform in advance, including aloo posta. Okay. Samne, you remember?
yes, sir.
Posta aloo.
Yes, sir.
So if you say, sir, I would like to have posta aloo, I'll cook posta aloo for you. And I cook and serve to my guest, up to 10 guests.
Great.
And where is this dhaba?
This is
This dhaba is created in a 3 feet by 8 feet balcony, in which not only cooking can be done, 2 person can sit and eat also on a table and have hot tea or cold drink or cold beer or whatever they want, with light music playing in the background. And other guests, 8 guests, can sit in the drawing room, which is attached, and thus up to 10 persons I can serve within 1 hour. And
sounds
hot,
very inviting, sir.
hot, crisp paratha, 6 type of parathas.
Wow.
It could be plain paratha with dahi, it could be aloo paratha, it could be onion paratha, it could be paneer paratha, it could be in winter, it could be gobi paratha, it could be red chili paratha, it could be green chili paratha. Then those who are from South India, I serve them 3 types of idlis. Those who come from West India, Gujaratis, I serve them dhokla. Those who are from East India, I serve them posta aloo with puri. This much I can do. Okay? And you people had been, what is your impression of what is Krishna Kumar? Any change in perception apart from this dhaba business?
You seem to be the same, the person that I remember from my student days, sir.
What is that?
Sorry. I said you seem to be the same, that I remember from my I am Lucknow days. The same.
For 30 years, I have not changed at all.
No, physically, appearance-wise, yes, you have.
No. Profession-wise, I have become a cook. Yeah. So, when you say AKKK, you will get, this is my website, akkk.co. So if you do that, you will get funny things. This distorted today. I'll correct it and then come back to you. But actually, when you say who is AKKK, you know only my academic part. My profession and profile has undergone changes post retirement, especially during the pandemic period. Have you ever seen the fellow becoming website operator, website designer, chef, video maker? Then
Lyricist and musician, singer also.
musician. So if you go there,
Musician, I remember you were telling a story about Lata Didi and
Excellent. Excellent.
you know, hey, Ghatke, where have you gone?
no, I'm very much there.
Ah, so he is very funny.
No,
Uh,
you
huh?
were telling about you met Lata Didi in somewhere in Himalayas, and that's how you
No,
inspiration.
no.
That's about
I
you.
happen to give up any discussion, any lecture, anything to do with management. I was so frustrated. Nobody listens because all you talk is rubbish. Because if you say people, oh, why can't we be biggest institute in the world? Then people say, mad fellow. He's saying better than Harvard. And this is what Professor Ishwar used to say. I was presenting my course outline of MCS for approval by the faculty council. Professor Ishwar said, you have all Professor Anthony's and Govind Rajan case. Don't you have anything else? I said, sir, it is Anthony's. Then he said, Anthony, you mean you can't do better than Anthony? I said,
Yeah, yeah.
sir, he is in Harvard. His book is prescribed in most of the management school all over the world,
Yes,
including
yes.
Harvard. Who, Krishna Kumar? Harvard is your role model. That's all.
I have worked with him for many years personally, and very fondly remember him. So just when you are imitating him, he completely reminded me of him.
I said we had a director to start with who had audacity to launch a full-fledged 2 years postgraduate program before he came to Lucknow. And the cat was over. He requested cat group A, B, and C to share some names from their list whom I am Lucknow can interview and start PGP. I am Lucknow was created on 26th of July. Professor Dayal joined in October, reported here in January, and he had announced that we are going to have first batch in July. And we were appointed and got appointment in December without any dispatch number because there was no office, so it could not be dispatched. Professor Dayal was personally writing, Dear Professor Krishna Kumar, and handing over interview letters and appointment letters. Then it says, join us for a meeting in February around Holi for admissions to the coming batch. Okay. And keep a day spare, we'll discuss PGP course, PGP design. How are we going to conduct post-graduate program? The design of PGP was to be discussed post-interview. Not many people will realize what the audacity this person has at the age of 62.
Yes.
And he continues to excite us. He might be firing us left, right, and center, doesn't matter. But what we learned from him was extraordinary, and he was repeatedly talking to us. Samane, it may be useful. The director was chairing faculty council meeting and discussing every term course outline for 2 days, 3 days, every subject course outline. In faculty council, where presence of faculty members was mandatory. Why?
Sir, we followed. Just to let you know, sir, I was fortunate enough to be associated with a new business school that with the help of Professor Dayal, started, and this is something that I'm very familiar with, sir. All our course outlines, irrespective of the function, had
Yes,
to be discussed with all the faculty,
all the faculty.
and everybody had the right to ask questions. So an
Yes,
OT faculty would ask questions to a
on
finance
finance
faculty.
and frustrate the finance faculty because
Yes,
he is ignorant about it. So I asked Professor Dayal, why do you do so? And he used to impress upon one thing. His postgraduate program is an integrated whole, not assortment of courses. And I distinctly remember, at least in some class, I said this. Somebody said, sir, this interdependence we don't know. When I was teaching strategy implementation, interdependence you don't know because the case involved that Hindustan Insurance Company. Interdependence you don't know. No, sir, we were never taught. Oh, on session number such and such in OB2, you have been taught that. How can you say you were not taught this course? This. Individual faculty members could refer to session conducted by another faculty member in first year, based upon which I have this case in second year. And then the student understand the interplay between business policy and finance, business policy and marketing, marketing and OB and quantitative methods. And that was signal contribution of Professor Dayal to make PGP as an integrated whole. Not anybody comes and talks anything and goes away from the class. But in fifth batch, when we were increasing intake, we had to go for some more faculty. A person joins. It so happened I was PGP chairman. So I was going to my office and he says, Professor Krishna Kumar, what you will do if a person forgets to take a class? I said, you better ask director. I am not director of the institute. I am only PGP chairman. No, suppose you are director, what you do? I'll say, what I'll do? I'll just sack him. He said, just for not taking a class. No. It's far, lot beyond that. The very fact that you did not take class because you did not come. Why did not you come? Sir, I forgot. If you forgot to take class, I can understand how much preparation you must have done for the class. Isn't it?
Yes.
Damna, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
And then you expect the students to respect you. If you forget to enter the class, all the students have a right to abscond. How can you tell people that, sorry, I forgot, I missed a class, and then you say, I am a professor of management? So even those days we have seen, and we used to get irritated on this. How can the fellow talk like that? Somebody comes. It happened in one paper before 1989. A student council president comes and tells me, sir, change the system. I said, what happened? People come and write question paper on the blackboard. Have you ever heard this? So I had to issue a note to faculty members. Please send typed copies of your question paper and drop in a locked letter box, which will be opened both forenoon and afternoon by PGP chairman personally. Without that, anything is possible. One Saturday, I came to office and I found a lot of stencils were loitering around, and sweeper was sweeping that. So one stencil I looked, and that was question paper. That was question. We had 5-day week, so 6th day students also were not coming in that wing. Otherwise, students will know the question paper before the exam. That can happen in other sister institution, but not in IIM Lucknow. So I had to stop it. And my staff got so annoyed. Sir, why should we type? My staff means PGP office staff. Prem Kumar and Rangarajan. Sir, you keep on taking load of others. Now, they were to send question paper for typed question paper, and you say, no, we have to type. I said, because that has to be manuscript. The person must write the question paper first time. He should not take last year's copy and forward. So, very, very interesting thing we have passed through. And when I joined the institution, I was wondering, is it possible to make a national institution? Because if I join Ahmedabad, I'll never see how Ahmedabad was made, how Calcutta was made, how Lucknow, how Bangalore was made. But if I join Lucknow, I'll see the journey. And if we are successful, we'll know how a national institution is made. And if we fail, we cannot absolve ourselves from the responsibility of messing up the things. And that I found a lot of lessons. Last 6 days, 7 days, I have been talking to previous batches. And believe me, there are certain eye-opening experiences shared by students. What the president of Students' Council contributed, what Amit Banati did for Venkatadri, who was topper of 5th batch. His name was not in the list when he came here to join. And his father was also accompanying him. So he says, sir, Amit Banati, the fourth batch student council president, he met in the dining hall and he came with us to your house and said, meet PGP chairman. If there is any confusion, he will resolve. So when we went to your house, you opened a folder, saw the people whom you have sent offers, and you saw my name is there. And you said, yes, I have sent you offer. And then only me and my father could take our dinner. We were not able to eat otherwise. And there was a typographical mistake, so he could not see that his name is there. Anyway, so anyway, anything coming out of the experiences that you have seen in is a small beautiful case 1, 2, or 3, A, B, or C.
Sir, I what I realized is that you when you joined there, I think in 2003
Four.
or 2004,
Yes.
um, there were problems on all fronts. You know, there were the institution, physical buildings which were in the process of getting constructed.
I'll just share this. And ठीक है ना?
The director of the institute had joined only recently.
It's a short case. इसको कैसे बड़ा करें?
Is small, beautiful, A. The director of Institute of Management, M, was wondering how to meet the charter of demands of the non-teaching staff who had been agitating, inter alia, for promotion for the past several months. The director of the institute had joined only recently. The institute was set up by the Government of India as the 6th National Level Institute of Management. The institute was created as an autonomous body, fully funded by the central government, with the support of state government. The institute, under its article, could not create any regular, tenured post without an explicit permission of the Ministry of HRD, Government of...
You know, you cannot create any post without the permission of the government. And they were pleading for promotion. Promotion to what when there is no post?
India. Government of India had accorded post facto approval in October 2003 for the staff, which was recruited between 1997 and October 2003. Since the approval had come position-wise for various staff, the institute could not consider promotion of staff to any higher position as no position existed. One of the very peculiar aspects of the problem was that out of a total of 20 approved staff positions, other than officers, as many as 16 were in the scale of Rs 5000-150-8000 and only 4 in the scale Rs 4000-100-6000. Government of India has several scales available, see Exhibit I. However, there was no post in scale of Rs 5500-175-9000, Rs 4500-125, 7000 or lower scales like Rs. 3050-75 or 2250-50. Neither there was any position in the next higher, officers, scale of 6,500 to 10,500 rupees, except a person who was on deputation. Most of the staff was recruited around the same period, between 1997-98, and were almost at the same basic in the respective grades. Another peculiar aspect was introduced because of technical nature of certain jobs like project and maintenance work, computer center, and library service, wherein persons with specific technical background could be recruited. The Government of India had post facto sanctioned the posts filled when the activity level was low, basically a batch of postgraduate program, having 60 students each in the first and second year. The sanctioned staff of 30 non-teaching staff, officers and non-officers, was however, commensurate with the batch size of 2 sections, i.e., 120 students in the first and second year each. A good number of them were, however, deployed in accounts, administration, and project management departments. For academic support services like management development programs, admissions, placement, interactive distance learning, etc., there was only one person each. If a person was on leave, the department would have to stop work for the day. There was no exclusive staff for activities like faculty development programs, research, seminars/conferences, or critical support area-wise like guest care, transport, etc. The institute was keen to increase these activities, but government would not release the manpower for the same. The government was very stringent in approving additional manpower and would impress upon outsourcing of various services. The staff was agitating as many of them had come from other older IIMs, where the staff strength was 8 to 12 times of this institute. They also had promoted people after 5 or 7 years as they had positions and could promote them. The institute's staff, some of whom had same experience, wanted parity with the former. The Government of India had categorically regretted permission to give promotion except as per the Government of India norms, which meant they had to wait for completion of 12 years service in the scale. The only way to meet the demands of the agitating staff was to get new positions created. However, this option was also not easy to come by. The government would consider additional posts only commensurate with the approved faculty strength in ratio of 1:1. The approval of faculty position was, however, contingent upon the increase in PGP intake, which required additional classrooms, additional students' hostels, faculty residences, water supply, etc. All this required money, which was not forthcoming even for the work related to construction work to cater to batch size of 120 students in first and second year. The funds allocated to the ministry itself were dwindling, and there were 3 IIMs competing for funds for both recurring and non-recurring expenses. Indeed, the government was considering introduction of a block grant scheme, which would have 2 components. One, which will be the amount based upon the grant for recurring expenditure in a particular year in the past. The second component would be a grant matching the surplus generated by the institutions. This method of funding implied that the institutions generate revenues from activities like training programs, for which there existed no infrastructure like classrooms, executive hostel, and commensurate staff. Asking for more faculty positions to have matching non-teaching staff by increasing batch size was not an easy option from another angle. Getting approval for faculty did not mean one would get faculty as required. Firstly, there was overall shortage of qualified and experienced faculty in the country as professionals were getting lured by growing industry sector. Then there were a large number of private institutions, who lured away the available faculty, offering as much as twice the salaries possible by IIMs. Lastly, the institute being located in a small town, it did not offer opportunities to spouses' job, good college education for children, etc. The turnover of faculty in the institute had been high historically for these reasons. If the intake was increased, the load on existing faculty would increase immediately and would not reduce till the new ones join. Faculty members were apprehensive of their workload increase. Even if the institute was able to get more faculty approved, it still needed to get the approval of not only the Ministry of HRD, but also of Ministry of Finance, for the non-teaching staff. And this required very strong justifications of each post. With 13 out of 16 existing staff members, out of 20 approved posts, in the same scale, 5,000 to 8,000 rupees, and almost the same basic pay, as they all had joined within 1 year, on minimum basic, it was a difficult challenge to develop a proposal so that all get promotion. Even if that was tried, there were 2 contingent consequences. 1. About 10 positions will fall vacant all of a sudden, with hardly anyone to occupy them. If the positions remained vacant, they would lapse. Secondly, all the people in 5,000 to 8,000 rupees grade wanted to be in the officer's grade of 6,500 to 10,500 rupees, skipping the immediately next scale, that presently did not exist. This too had 2 catches. Firstly, the government was most unlikely to accept the proposal for creating 13 new officers' posts, adding to existing 10, taking it to 23, thus making officer subordinate staff ratio of 23:17. If the number was reduced, only few positions would be created and thus only few would get promoted, while others would not. That would surely demoralize the latter, as by and large each one was holding exclusive responsibility and were only marginally different from each other in terms of performance, which itself was difficult to compare as nature of each person's responsibility differed. Lastly, to what extent each one has developed to assume responsibility of an officer straight away, was a moot point. Director was not too sure of it, more so, as hardly any supervisor had given them bad rating. The director was wondering whether managing motivation even in a small organization could be a difficult problem. Questions. 1. Identify the problems being faced by the director. 2. Highlight the associated managerial challenges. 3. What should the director do?
Now it looks, the title is coming because it was a very small institution. Just 120 students, 54 passing out. Infrastructure is coming up, but coming up in a delayed manner, and there's no money flowing from the government to make it come up. For everything, government approval is required. Why I played this? Because you may not discuss this right now, but now that recording is there and it's also available on YouTube, some other time conveniently you can read it and see how to manage the situation. Suppose you were offered. Now, one good answer we always give in the class, what should the director do? And that is quit. But quitting there and joining back, I am Lucknow, would mean you go down in the eyes of your own colleagues, whom you had proudly said, I am going to be the first director from I am Lucknow. And you say, I did not perform, so I am returning here as a faculty. Do you mean rejected persons from administration only can be faculty? Who could not shoulder responsibility of manager? That was one. So read it. So I'll read the second one also as if this was not enough. Even if you want to do something, there is more. And I'll just quickly play B also so that you can comprehend from all sides. Some octopus has held you, legs and hands, and you don't know what to do. So give me, these are short cases, 5 minutes long to read. So let me play that also.
Actually, I remembered one line.
Huh.
So our guys say it is better to execute the strategist, to execute the guy rather than executing the strategy. And I think that's always the case because
It's very interesting, Prabhakar. Everybody
yes,
wants to be chief executive, and they
yes,
don't know chief executive means being executed.
yes. Yes, yes, yes.
And we, as faculty members, we are not trained to do these things because there is administrative side, there is director, there is dean, and the work is divided. So a person in established institution may not even realize what all is going to be in his pocket, not pocket, in his hand, which he may not be able to hold. So let me quickly run through the second one. Somana, you have read, but Pragapa and Nanduri have not. Let me quickly browse like that, and at your convenience, you see this slide and see whether it's possible to comprehend. And still it is possible. And why I say still it is possible, if I had not studied the subject of strategic management, it would have been impossible for me to do so. Exactly same thing had happened when we were increasing intake from 30 to 100 in IIM Lucknow. And I found, because I had prepared a perspective plan in which I had discussed, in case government allows us to increase intake, how will we, what all is to be done and how will we do it? So the moment government permitted, in 4 months' time we increased intake from 30 to 105. Now, If it was easy, other institutions would have been increasing intake every alternate year. It is not easy. But it is not beyond imagination. It is possible if we learn strategic management, the task of detailing the strategic management issues and the conceptual framework available for that. And we have serious problem, we don't cover this aspect. So let me quickly glance through for the benefit of Prabhakar and Surya. Hmm? हाँ? ये नहीं, एक मिनट, शेयर तो तब करेंगे जब केस आएगा, उधर आएगा कैसे करें, ये जब केस खुलेगा ना तभी तो शेयर होगा, अब इसको ज़रा रोकना पड़ेगा.
Is small beautiful, B. The director of Institute of Management was on his nerves when he read the minutes of the about 1.7%.
This is just introducing some more complications to A part. And only when you see the two, even if you get money and you want to make building, can you? And what about the faculty is going to do for you? You are asking to increase their load to double. It's already doubled last year. And now you say you are going for 120 to 180. Why? To give promotion to non-teaching staff. They say you are going to give promotion to non-teaching staff. Why should we work? And you have to find answer to that also.
Per month instead of over 6.6 per month. Frustrated over the slow rate of progress, the Board of Governors had asked the Institute to serve a notice to the builders XYZ Ltd, a reputed Indian company belonging to one of the large business groups of India.
And you know which was the group whom the board had decided to serve notice? That was a Tata Group company. They had 10 times lawyers in their law department than their entire staff. And the board decided to serve notice on that builder. How can you do that?
India, as to why the contract should not be terminated and the balance work got done through another builder at the cost and risk of XYZ Limited, if the last-ditch effort of a request to the chief of the business group failed to expedite the progress. The worries of the board and the director were not unfounded. None of the buildings among a large number of buildings, comprising a classroom complex, a faculty block, a commercial center, a guest house, a married students' hostel, 4 student hostels, 15 faculty houses, 22 staff houses, director's residence, was completed and ready for use. A major factor that worried him the most was the non-completion of the classroom complex, which was only half complete. The institute had increased its MBA intake from 60 to 120 students in July 2003 as per the MOU signed with the Ministry of Human Resource Development, MHRD, hoping that the necessary buildings would be completed at least by May 2004. No one expected such an inordinate delay. Non-completion of the classroom complex and hostel could turn out to be a major issue in June, when the academic session begins with 240
And
students
this
in the campus.
April.
As per the revised plan, the classroom complex was slated to be completed in January 2005. A temporary.
That is, the classroom complex for 120 intake was going to be completed in 2004, 2005 January. And the batch was coming in June. Where they are going to sit? Where they are going to live?
Classroom arrangement would mean an expenditure of about 2.5 rupees million, more than director's salary for his entire tenure, a large part of which was perceived to be a waste. In any case, the makeshift classroom could not be expected to be congenial for effectiveness of learning that needed a properly designed classroom conducive for case method, needing embedded revolving chairs and amphitheater type setting with necessary multimedia arrangement, LAN connectivity, etc. None of these would be available in the makeshift arrangement. If all these buildings were to be completed in the next 15 months, the rate of progress had to go up from about 1.7% p.m. to 4% p.m., 2.5 times higher. 2. Several factors apparently contributed to this delay. One of the main factors perceived to be responsible was the value at which the contract was awarded to the builder XYZ Ltd. In a bid to bag the first major civil construction order, the XYZ Limited had terribly underquoted. The difference in its quotation and the next two higher quotations was over 20%. To make the matter worse, the builder had deleted the normal cost escalation clause to bag the order. Soon after getting the contract award, the company realized the terrible fact and lost heart. There were some other peculiar aspects that impinged on the progress. The site of construction comprised two small hills, where it was difficult to gauge the exact nature of soil. At times it seemed soft on the face, and once excavation started, large granite blocks appeared laughing on the face of the builder. The risk involved did not permit blasting it into pieces, as the surrounding downhill area was densely populated, and cutting was costly and time-consuming. For instance, cutting 20 feet long stretch of granite rock to make drainage took 5 months. The hill's soil composition was so unpredictable that even the architects were at loss to clearly understand composition of the whole hill, where it was soft and where it was hard. It led to unexpected consequences. For example, there was a massive landslide on Residential Hill that caused an additional cost of 12 million rupees, and the money earmarked for a new hostel construction had been diverted to do this work. The hill site with narrow roads also posed problems for material storage and concurrent work of different agencies, which quarreled and allegedly obstructed each other's work. For example, external electrical work was being done by a SIP company that had become a BIFR case, and drainage outside houses was being constructed by the XYZ Limited, laying electrical cables needed trenches to be excavated, which obstructed material storage and transfer for construction by XYZ. It took many days for the SIP electrical company, about 200 km away, to arrange skilled labor, and XYZ could not wait that long. Subsequently, it also irritated the inhabitants of the few completed residential buildings, as the road work could not be taken up due to lack of alternative routes. The rains also had its role to play. Once the monsoon started in May, no foundation work could be undertaken for over 3 months. The state also had another problem, that of acute shortage of skilled and unskilled labor. The labor rates were uneconomically high, and the builders had to bring labor from distant places like Tamil Nadu, Orissa, and Andhra. 3. Pradesh etc. 500-1500 kms away. Indeed, the builder could never mobilize more than 60% of the labor required at any stage of the project work. This not only made the cost go up for the builder, but also occasional losses of the advanced salary paid when the labor finally did not show face. The delays were also caused occasionally on account of strong disagreements between the project staff of the institute and the builder, on the issues of approvals of material. Often the project staff rejected material proposed by the builder on the grounds of non-adherence to approved brand, while the builder proposed next alternative on the grounds that the material was not available in the market. The project staff felt it was being done to reduce cost by using cheaper material. The delays were also caused due to action of the architects, who occasionally changed the initial design after the builder had started construction or taken material procurement action. As non-completion was creating anxiety among all, the people were more in the game of pointing out others for the delays instead of working together. It was natural, he felt, but not an answer to improve pace of progress. If the legal notice was served, will the builder be even enthusiastic enough to complete the work, leave alone timely completion, especially in the background of the mounting losses, he wondered. At the same time, he thought, if the rate of progress remained the same, he would complete his 5 years tenure before the phase 2 of the campus work was over. What to say of academic activities that would stagnate at the same level for years together, with attendant consequences? Besides, will it be possible to find alternate builder to complete so many partially completed buildings at reasonable rates? How to settle the bills of XYZ Limited was another point to be pondered. The director's worries were compounded by another nightmarish fact. The institute banked heavily on the Ministry of Human Resource Development, MHRD, both for plan funds, required for creation of infrastructure buildings like library, computer center etc., as also for non-plan funds, to meet the deficit in meeting operational expenses. However, there was a serious conflict on the issue of autonomy between the MHRD and other sister management institutions, who were part of the 6 institutes of management created by MHRD. These senior institutions had a large amount of corpus funds, which gave interest income. They also generated enough income through fee etc., which together with interest income was sufficient to cover up all expenses. 4. They could, thus, sustain at least for a while, without plan and non-plan grants from the government. This was not the case with IIMK. Non-release of non-plan grant could jeopardize the operation, and non-release of plan grant could result in default of payment to builders if they completed the work faster, assuming that the institute was able to persuade them to do so. Unfortunately, some of the senior faculty members were also quite upset with the government's approach and were mobilizing support to protest against the government, joining hands with faculty of other institution, even legal battle, if necessary. A wrong move could jeopardize the timely release of funds from MHRD. Indeed, the government had not released any grant towards both plan and non-plan requirements since the conflict began about 10 months ago. With great persuasion, the director was able to get a part of the grant released while joining the institute, but he had serious doubts about further release, if the faculty openly criticized. Even the Board of Governors was not very keen to take stand against the government. There was another worry giving the director sleepless nights. There was a move to introduce block grant scheme by the MHRD, under which the institute's non-plan grant would stop totally after 4 to 5 years, which meant that the institute will have to increase its income generation activity of management development program 8 to 10-fold in the next 3 to 4 years. But the required infrastructure, classroom, executive hostel etc., did not exist. All that was planned for Phase 3 of construction, which was yet to be conceptualized and could be started only after Phase 2 work was over. Questions. 1. Identify the problems.
Now, my dear friends, when you get offer of directorship 2,500 kilometers away from your family, okay, and going in a place, whether I went to Calicut or went to Dubai, in fact, it was less time taking if I took flight from Lucknow to Sharjah and Sharjah to Calicut than going Lucknow to Bombay and Calicut, or Lucknow to Delhi and Calicut. And it's very, very unfortunate that you face a dilemma. Should I join or not? If you join, then you are a fool because you are going to face a music. If you don't join, all the people will say you are a fool. You did not, either you did not have the offer or you are a fool to refuse it. So in such a situation, what do you do? If you don't join, people say you are a fool. If you join, you are really a fool. So what do you do? And I was reminded of Jagdish Gandhi. Jagdish Gandhi had a lot more flexibility. He could go and beg people to give funds so that he can make building. I can't go anywhere. It's only Government of India. And Government of India stipulates increase intake. And faculty members say you have already increased intake from 60 to 120 without commensurate increase in faculty and staff. And now you want to go to 180. And without that, faculty position cannot be increased, and without that, staff position cannot be increased, and therefore staff cannot be promoted. And staff in agitation, Sadanand had gone from I am Lucknow to I am Calicut. And he says, sir, what is my crime? I came here, others did not get selected. I got selected, so I came here. So I am not being given promotion, And my colleagues, Rajiv Pandey and Rai, have got 2 promotions in the meantime. John and Sadanand were talking like that. What to do? Rameshan was also talking like that. So it's very, very interesting thing. That is why the title I did not give, it came up. Is small, really beautiful. And there is a good work, is small, beautiful by, there is a work, very famous work, small is beautiful. Very famous work, small is beautiful. And I was experiencing, is small beautiful? Would have been it easy to be director of IIM Lucknow or even IIM Hyderabad than being director of IMK in these circumstances. But if you see case D, C, D, and E, then how you tide over these situations. And that is why I wrote this series, that if short cases are there which could be played on YouTube or video, and people can read that conveniently, or they can switch on and listen it through earphone. That is why I developed this model of a video which can be seen on TV. You can download on YouTube and play. And if you are tired, you can listen, keeping your eyes closed, and ponder over the complexity of the issue. And someday you know more than many others and many of us now that these days students are averse to going through long cases. Not that we were very keen to have long cases of 80 pages like Professor C.K. Prahlad, but today even reading 2 pages is too lengthy. So I am now developing mechanism how to generate interest in the students so that they feel like entering the class, okay, and then not only entering the class, inquisitively asking, say it's not possible, it's just not possible, show me how it is done. And I say, are you willing to see it? If yes, then we'll show through another case. And therefore, a new exercise I have, and that is making short introductory videos to bring the students to the classroom. Have you developed any such videos? Give me a 3 minutes clip. कहाँ गया वो?
I remember I went to Lucknow Library about 2 years back, and I met some old person. I'm forgetting who he was. He said the difference between those days and this today is students don't come to library, and I think he says that is very saddening. He says our library size has gone up, building is really very big, but the in other words, footfall is fall like less. And he was saying maybe students get material online and they read it at home, but he says overall he was saddened by this development. And I see this change even in my children. They don't want to read, and you tell them and they say, no, we have seen this movie, we know the story. So reading a novel is like not a priority for them.
Yes.
I think it's a changing world and we may have to adapt probably.
With all the trouble you went through, sir, the campus of Kozhikode is really very beautiful.
One, ये क्या करें? Stop here, this. Just give me a minute. This is how to stop it. Huh? Now it's very interesting. Sumna, it is this clip is played when 2 minutes before the class start in MDP, so that people start coming in. And then for teaching, you have why should you study SM? Eh? And for that, I am trying to develop Samne if possible, and this is where I'm failing very seriously. And that is, I had thought by 28th of March, I'll complete the task holy day and launch 15 small video clips on SM. That is, if you play and remember only that 15 clips, at any point as executives, you will remember the entire SM that you were taught, and not only that, you may remember the whole PGP that you were taught.
That will be
So,
wonderful.
huh?
That will be wonderful.
So 6 clips I have already made. I have to make another 8, 9 to complete that module. So allow me, I'll just give a bit of that. कहाँ चला गया? हाँ. This is about, we say for implementation is nothing but arranging resources. And we don't discuss even all the resources. Sansadhan means resources. Some people think resources is financial resources only. Some people think physical infrastructure is the resource required. Some people think human resource is the only resource. So we, by area of expression, we overemphasize. If you see OB subjects, people think as if human resource is the only thing to be managed. but far from that. Now, this is what we call organization resources. So people will definitely ask, what nonsense, sir? What is this organization resources? We have never been told. Do you want to be told? Do you want to know it? If yes, I proceed. If not, let's skip. And then let's see how many students say, skip it. Because there's something coming which is not found in the book. Are there more than 4 resources? Now, people say, people don't even remember that there's yet another resource. And many things I had built on that. We forget even the fact that all are required. One or two will not suffice. In fact, if you mobilize one or two or three, you will be in bigger mess because you have resources which are liabilities than assets if you are not able to use them. Even if you don't get one, all others, if you have mobilized, is waste. Because you have spent money for mobilizing those resources, and revenue will not come unless you complete. So if you have everything but not the marketing professor, you have 180 intake, but no PG people graduate. Access to resource and having the resource in your pocket. You know, there was a person by name Mr. Armugam in 5th or 6th batch. And one day in creativity class, we were discussing something. And we found Armugam is very sad looking that day. So we asked the class, are you people happy? So people said, sir, how can we be happy? I said, what happened? Why can't you be happy? So there's nothing in my pocket. So I said, what is that you were looking for? He said, I was looking for money. If we had money, we would have enjoyed on Saturdays. So I said, what you would have enjoyed? So we would have gone and eaten and enjoyed and had party and other. So Armugam was looking very sad. I said, Armugam, why you are looking sad? So he said, others responded, sir, last Saturday was his son's first birthday and he is from Andhra and his wife is there. And this fellow is alone. He was not happy that day. He was missing his son. So I told Armugam, why you were unhappy? Suppose your son was there, what you would have done? He said, I would have celebrated, I would have been party. I said, look, here is this hungry lot waiting for party. Here is a person who would have given party if people had gone and congratulated and celebrated his son's birthday. So, having access to resource and having that in your pocket, they are very different things. You don't need to have money in your institute account. So, if you have money in Government of India's pocket, and you have access to that. You have to learn the art of how to get that money from this pocket to be spent the way I want. And you don't need very elaborate training. Your wife and your children do it every day. You carry purse and money in your pocket. You don't spend, but money is spent as per the choice and wishes of children and wife. And you carry the bag only. So, access to resources and having that pocket are two very different things. You don't think that if I want to spend money, I need to have money in my pocket.
But of late, I'm seeing this trend more often. Companies are willing to think outsourcing and outsourcing to a larger extent. I am seeing this shift in thinking. And one more thing is
Ah,
outsourcing. People are uh, okay to outsource to any other country as well, which is like not at the back of the house sort of, but they are willing to gamble with other countries, small suppliers. I think
and
resources are being seen very differently over a period.
Prabhakar, all
Yes,
that,
yeah,
especially outsourcing of financial resources, has been practiced long ago.
agree.
So people have a lot of NPAs because they outsource it. They are not concerned. That is not my money.
That I don't call outsourcing, but I agree with you. In fact, I'm just wondering, these especially new age companies, they are struggling for brain, so they outsource it to some people. They are struggling for money, so private equity is anyway putting in that money, so they get resources there. So virtually, they are ready to
That is what I'm
outsource
saying.
most of the stuff.
You don't need to keep everything in your pocket. जितना
Yes,
हो
agree.
जरूरी रखना वही. You don't need to
Ah,
have
agree.
everything in
I
your
think very
pocket.
important. Very
Correct.
important. True.
Okay.
True. True.
Now, not only access to resource, you need them in a balanced way. You have to manufacture a power plant equipment the size of lathe for manufacturing shaft and the size of milling machine for making what you call armature. You have to keep a balance. Disproportion means you have paid high and you're not getting return on that. So this balancing is important because not everybody is manufacturing to your specifications. So always you are going for equipment which minimum. So you have a bottleneck which is delivering. In the process of bottleneck delivery, you have surplus at different points. And that is we call organization buffer. So you can leverage this buffer for application to other areas and make new business.
But any reason you have made it in Hindi?
Eh?
Any reason why you made it in Hindi? Because
Sune,
my Hindi is poor, so I'm
Sune,
asking you.
is it in Hindi?
Yeah.
Shamane, is it in Hindi?
No, these titles.
There are translations in English.
There are subtitles.
Yeah,
Oh, there are subtitles.
You know, Prabhakar, don't expect a 74 years old person to make videos perfect in all respect with music.
No. This Hindi subject, Hindi, sorry, these titles.
No. I'm talking of something else. I'm talking of something else because this video are not going to be seen by students of IIMs, but there are 2000 management schools.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to learn what is management of resources, what should we know about resources? So I made it. It's in Hindi and English. I tried even different, in Marathi, in Bengali, in Telugu, in Tamil, in Kannada. Also, I tried to translate some of the cases.
Okay.
I have been unsuccessful, except a few cases.
Okay.
Even this we don't know. There is a difference between apparent resources and operand resources. The resources, accounting wise, we classify resources as asset. But you may have building which is not being used. Accounting wise, it's an asset, but it's a big liability. Unless it is being used. So if you have a person very competent but not willing to deliver, you have apparent resources but not operant resources. And we get confused. My organization is very strong. You know, we have 100 faculty members who are not willing to go to the class. And another person says we have 20 faculty members and they are slogging from morning till evening. And that institution is performing better than the other one. So this apparent and operant resources this is the point, Shamane, you must impress.
Very interesting, sir.
Now, I thought if we have 15 videos on different components of the strategic management, which remind you, when you sleep, you say, my God, what is the organizational resource? And what is network resource? Now, today, all that we are discussing are Believe me, Somne, Professor Sahai is Secretary General of Strategic Management Forum, which used to conduct faculty development programs. Since none of us had resources to conduct a full-fledged program, we joined hands and we conducted, believe me, 68 FDPs on SM-related topics, 1 week each. In the same IIMs, which don't conduct a single course on their own. And that is what I call network resources.
This is Professor Arunaditya Sahai.
Yes, yes. He is Secretary General of that forum. And that forum has contributed immensely to the teachers in the country. And they still want. But nobody is doing. Everybody says conduct faculty development program. When it comes to conducting, then we conduct the same thing, business analytics and forecasting, not on significant issues. So I stop here. It's already 1 hour 45 minutes. And thank you all for joining. And it has been very interesting session. And you might like the exhibit that I have given. You can all these cases. All these cases you can just click and you can see. Many of them are on YouTube. So there's no difficulty in playing that. But Sumne, there was one person by name Professor Srinivasan of General Al Bajaj Institute. And Professor Shah said he has created a video. So I was also inspired by that and I started creating videos. But the pandemic has somewhat hampered the progress. But I'm quite sure if I can complete another 8, 9 videos in capsule form, this can be incorporated and one can recapitulate it on mobile whenever he's facing problem. It's in one or the other topics that we were taught. Hmm? Okay, thanks a lot, friends, and see you all.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Yes, sir, thank you very much.
Whichever
By the
day.
way, I think I'm happy to see Som and Surya on the call because we don't do these Zoom calls. So I should thank you for that additionally.
No, I am also very
We
happy.
really
to
felt
see
we got corrected.
Yes,
It's really a great pleasure because when you see,
Yes.
you people are like our children. And now the children's children are graduating.
yes.
So first batch, when
Yeah.
one Bhutani says, my daughter wants to know where should I get admission? I said, are you asking me? I mean, you got 10, 30 years ago, 35 years ago, and now you're asking me. It's fair, and that will become grandfather's advice, very old advice. Advise them what is current. So it's a great family. Whole I am family is a great family. If you go to ekakk.co, all the I have got 10 sites. One of them is down ekkk.in, but ekkk.com, ekkk.org, ekkk.co.in, ekkk.eu, ekkk.uk, all that I have kept and put one thing, ekkk.co, that single sheet. There I have one Indian Institutes of Management. If you see that, it gives complete idea of what is whole IIM. And there I made a calendar of IIMs, 2020 and 2021. I made a calendar of IIM Lucknow that you know your faculty. IIM's calendar, and then I also made a small book, the Colorful IIMs, which has all the faculty members as on 1st January 2020, their names listed. And if you want address of any faculty member who was there on rolls as on 1st January 2020, a split second I can give you that from my mobile. All faculty members, irrespective of the area. And here's what I find, the whole family is so strong. 7,000 PGPs graduating every year, 3,500 acres of land, 800 plus faculty members, and this I'm talking of only 20 IMs. Connect with other private institutions and IFT, XLRI, MDI, etc. It's a massive education infrastructure. And then the whole world will realize what is India. So if we are not putting it together, all the people, the world will not know what is India. And I'm quite sure someday you might like to visit IM's site and keep track of who is doing what. I'm not able to update because I don't have that much of energy to update 20 IMs who are not updating their own websites. Okay, Prabhakar, thanks a lot.
Thank
Okay,
you, sir.
Surya, thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.
So much. Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
a
you,
lot.
sir.
Very, very inspiring, and thank you for this session. Because at your age, looking at the way you're going full, full strength, so active, it's an inspiration for us, really.
Yes, truly.
Yeah,
Truly, sir.
I mean, hope to learn a
I'm
lot.
creating, Prabhakar, last thing, I'm creating an oxygen generating plant.
Wow.
A small oxygen generating plant, which
Okay.
will be assembled at Bangalore, shifted to Lucknow, and commissioned in a small hospital
Oh,
to see whether we can have first what you call low capacity oxygen generating plant, that is 50 liters per minute, which
Very
can fill cylinders also.
very good. Very
So
good.
that if it is put in a hospital, it can cater to 10 patients, and the cost is not going to be more than 20 lakhs. That is, in 1 crore, we can have 5 such plants,
Okay.
which can cater to 50 people and cover a population of 500.
Very good. Very good. Very good.
And this in in 13,000 rupees, we can have 65,000 such oxygen plants.
That's true.
And there are only 6,700 blocks in the country. That means with 13,000 crores, we can set up 10 oxygen generating plant with cylinder filling capacity in each block of the country. And every block is connected with village, not more than 2 hours journey. So you can make oxygen accessible to villages. And all this can be done with low capacity installation in 6,700 blocks in the country. 10, uh, 10 oxygen plants in every block at the cost of 13,500, which was a friend of mine told was the loss of this year in Tata Motors. 1 year loss of Tata Motors is the amount with which we can make oxygen accessible to all the people in every nook and corner of the country. How is that?
That is true. That is
Something
true.
to think about, sir.
Because
Actually, you're seeing loss. If you look at profit of some of the companies, maybe India can run far better. So
That's true.
I think we need some innovative ways to tax corporates.
the cost come to one. And yesterday we were talking, Raja was alone at that time, and interesting thing was the charge that we make to the PGP students at the time of accepting the offer, say
Yeah.
1,000 rupee acceptance fees or 2,000 rupee acceptance fees.
Yeah.
In that money, we can provide entire 2 years course material of PGP
That's true.
Wow.
That's
in
true. Good point. Yeah.
SD card, which can be put in your mobile and listened, seen, and mirrored on TV. With that, you can move anywhere. You can read it anytime, anywhere, any place in the world, including toilet and bedrooms, when nobody will know. You are putting earphone, your wife is sleeping, you are studying.
That's true. That's true.
All that in just 2,000 rupees, which we are charging for as acceptance fee for of acceptance of the offer. So Raja said like this, and said even putting up oxygen plant in all our country for access to villages is possible if we think of solutions ourselves, what suits this country, not and basing on the technology developed elsewhere, just applying it to our context. That's all. Thanks, Vijay. Thanks all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you, sir. Good night.
Thanks, Ghati, Surya.
Yeah.
See you guys.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Som.
Thank you,
Bye.
Som,
Bye.
for
Surya, thanks.
arranging this.
Thank you,
It's
sir. Good
been
night.
quite a long time.
Thank you.
It's great always to hear. from
Yeah, I
sir.
think we should have a batch meeting sometime.
Yeah.
Yeah, look forward.
Okay.
Thank you.
Look forward.